Okay, I wanted to share with you guys in hopes that it'll help. One of the most useful AIs that I've used, and one of the most useful things I've used the AI for. And I'm not using any of the AIs to make visual content. I'm not using it to make pictures or video. I'm not using it to write my scripts. I'm not doing any of that stuff. All my content is still made by me. It's generic by me. But I am using it to have conversations about things like the video titles so that I can come up with a better video title. As a matter of fact, it's still not coming up with video titles that are good enough to where I can just copy and paste the titles that it gives me. But it is very helpful. You'll notice here I prompted it by asking it a question. I DIY fixed my cheap rolling mechanics chair and made it better than a more expensive rolling chair. I filmed the repair/upgrade for a YouTube video. What are 10 titles I could give this video that have good SEO for YouTube? So it gives me all these titles, and I'm recognizing some keywords and stuff that I've used in other titles that worked well and some stuff that didn't work so well. So then, and it gives some examples of stuff that aren't great examples, but it's still already better than most of the AIs I've used. So what here I did, I told it, you did great on 1, 3, 6, and 9. Which of these titles do you think would get the most views? So you got to do a series of prompts with these things, not just ask one question and expect you're going to get a great answer. You get to kind of have a conversation with it and guide it, because these things are like in their infancies. So Grok says, I believe the Rolling in Comfort DIY rolling chair and upgrade for a premium seating experience at a fraction of the cost, Title 9, has the highest potential for getting the most views, doesn't matter. What I noticed here was this title right here that it's saying is Title 9 is not Title 9. It's actually a pretty decent title, but it's not Title 9. If you look up here at Title 9, Title 9 was the best rolling chair repair and upgrade, blah, blah, blah. Down here it says Rolling in Comfort DIY. That's not the same title. And it gives some kind of offbeat sources here. So I told Grok, I said that is another good title. Although it is similar to Title 9, it is not the same as Title 9. So when prompting these things, it seems like it's best. Honesty is the best policy. Even if Grok isn't being honest with you, just be boldly honest with the AI. Tell it what it's doing wrong, and then prompt it again. So Grok says, I apologize for the confusion. I have updated my response to reflect the correct title number. I meant to refer to Rolling in Comfort DIY repair and upgrade of a cheap rolling chair, outperforming expensive models. Now, I looked at this, and this was the same as Title 4. But it's neither Title 9, nor is it the title that it gave me. So it's still not being completely honest here. I meant to refer to, and it doesn't quite excuse what it did. Instead of saying, I apologize for the confusion, it wasn't confusion, it just made a mistake, or it said something wrong, and it should have just said that. But be that as it may, maybe these things will get better later. You can't start being as incorrect or lying to it and expect it to get better. You've got to be honest enough and accurate enough to make up for its dishonesty and or inaccuracies in order to make it get better and have better conversations. At least that's the approach I'm taking. So what I said, that it's not worth arguing with it over whether it was confusion or not. It just moved on to, of all the words and phrases in these titles, which words and phrases are the top 5 for the most search volume? And the reason I asked that is because it didn't seem like it was search engine optimizing these title suggestions as well as it could. It seemed like it was making titles that were really catchy and they sound nice and everything, but if they're not search engine optimized, nobody's ever going to see them. So it won't matter how catchy and exciting they are if they don't get searched up. So Grok says, to determine the top 5 words and phrases for search volume, this is where the conversation starts to get good. To determine the top 5 words and phrases for search volume, I analyze the titles using a combination of keyword research tools and search engine trends. Here are the top 5 words and phrases with the highest search volume. Now, of course, all of this is for my other channel. I wouldn't be using these kind of terms on this channel. And right here, I recognize DIY, do it yourself. This term is highly popular among people looking for hands-on projects and cost-effective solutions. Rolling chair, because the video's about a rolling chair, yeah, that would be a term that's searched well, that fits with the actual, not clickbaity, but fits with the actual content of the video. Repair, that's a good one. Upgrade, that's a good one. Cheap, that's a good one. So it looks like I'm getting some cooperation now that's actually honest and accurate. It says, using these popular search terms in your video title will help increase its visibility and attract more viewers. Well, of course, that's why I was trying to prompt it to give up that kind of information. So I told Grok, I said, very good, Grok. I think you are correct, because those words and phrases seem consistent with my research and experience using phrases to SEO the title of my repair videos. You see what I'm doing here, viewers? I'm trying to offset Grok's inaccuracies with 100% honesty and good, accurate information, so that instead of it telling me what I want to hear, it starts telling me the truth. You got to remember that all these things are programmed by hardcore leftists that are trained and lose their job and get ridiculed if they don't tell everybody what they want to hear rather than what the truth is. So by sticking to the truth and sticking to accuracy, you start training the AI that what you want to hear is truth and accuracy. And then it's still telling you what you want to hear, but because it believes what you want to hear is truth and accuracy, you start getting better cooperation, if you know what I mean. So I told Grok, I said, very good, Grok, I think you're correct. Because those words and phrases seem consistent with my research and experience using phrases to SEO the titles of my repair videos, it has also been my experience that the best performing words and phrases should be near or at the beginning of the title for best performance. Do you know of any evidence to confirm or deny that belief? Then Grok says, and this gets interesting, there is evidence to support the idea that the best performing words and phrases should be near or at the beginning of the title for better performance. This concept is known as front loading, where you place the most important keywords or phrases at the beginning of the title. Front loading can be beneficial for several reasons. So look how interesting this gets. It says that 1. Attention grabbing. Users are more likely to notice the first few words of a title, especially when they are scanning search results or browsing a list of videos. 2. SEO benefits. Search engines like Google and YouTube often give more weight to the first few words of a title when determining relevance to a user's query. And 3. Mobile optimization. With an increase of use of mobile devices for browsing, front loading can be particularly helpful. Mobile screens have limited space, and users may not see the entire title. Now, this is particularly interesting because these are some of the things that I was thinking of when I was looking at the first 10 titles it gave me, and I was thinking, those titles look good, but they don't seem to be front-loading the best keywords. And see how different this conversation has become from the beginning of the conversation till now? And now I'm getting some cooperation from Grok. And I think it's because I resisted the urge to argue with it and just stayed, very accurate and very honest with my queries. And it just seems to me that all these AIs are trying to tell you what you want to hear. And if you don't make it clear to them that what you want to hear is honesty and truth, then you're going to get like trying to have a conversation with a little kid that just wants to be liked, or an adult with arrested development that's just trying to impress you. But if you do prompt it correctly, then you can get some decent information out of it. And it does give you an example of a front-loaded title, and I can tell you from experience that is a good title, and that is front-loaded, and that is the way it should have been doing from the beginning when I asked it for titles. So in conclusion, I think there is some use for some of these AIs. You just got to be careful of how you use them. So what are your thoughts on this AI in this conversation? And what did you learn from dissecting this AI conversation? Please comment below.